Hello Virgo, and welcome to your reading for the week of July 16 through 29, 2024. This is a reading if you are Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, Virgo Rising, or have another significant Virgo placement in your chart. If you're new to this channel, welcome. It's good to have you. And if you're returning, welcome back. This is a 12-house astrology spread based on the houses of astrology. My main deck that I use is Murray Hope's Way of Cartouche deck. And I usually clarify with a tarot deck. This week I'm going to be using the Black Moon astrology cards, and I will explain why in a moment. But our clarifier will be a tarot deck, and this is the Osho Zen Tarot. So we will pull a card from there at the end. If you do like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified about these videos. I also put out a morning coffee with Breege video, usually daily. Sometimes I'm a little behind in getting them uploaded, but if you watch those on Instagram, I have those on at 6:30 in the morning on Instagram on my Transition Life Coaching channel. And then I will upload the recordings of those here if you want to see them later, but I do another daily reading on those. And then I also do my channelings of Archangel Azrael. If you want more information about all the kind of work I do and the services I've provided, as well as my social media links, they are down in the description box below. Okay, so let's start by looking at the Cartouche reading and then we'll clarify. So Virgo, right now, yeah, I think you are very focused on your own happiness here, okay? We've got this in the first house. So this means that you are somebody who is, you could be projecting a lot of love and a lot of love energy with this card, okay? This is definitely a card that's full of life, just full of vitality, but also just someone who's determined to authentically do what makes them happy. And it's interesting there, and it just seems like you've got wing disc in the 9th house. So this is definitely an expansive energy. That's the house of Jupiter energy. So I feel like you are in a space right now, Virgo, where you are looking to fly, to soar. Whether this means literally through traveling, whether this has to do through getting more education, whether this is expanding your spiritual beliefs or spiritual knowledge, all of those things are possible in the 9th house. And it does seem like there may be money coming in if you have your own business. Earth does seem to indicate money that is connected to business, so that's a good thing. Can also be, this is also a house of siblings, so I don't know, this jumped into my head, so I don't know if some of you are getting money from a brother or sister. That's possible, I guess, as well. But I do feel like this is more about a card of, this is a card of communication. So this is Gemini energy, and this would have to do with communications around money, or this would be about money that is coming in through some kind of a business venture. That's the sense of this. You have air here in the 2nd house, so I do feel like that there is some kind of a change, or there's going to be some kind of news with regard to money with air showing up in this position. This is interesting. You have Crook and Flail in the house, the Cancer house, which is the house of your home and your family. So this has to do with having authority or having recognition. And I don't know, what's jumping into my head is that maybe it's like you want to be recognized by your family, or, being recognized for something that you do. And I do feel like that recognition is coming, or maybe it's there and it just doesn't seem apparent in some way. We are going to clarify these with the astrology cards. If you are in a relationship, okay, they're definitely, if you're single and looking for love, Bast would indicate this is a card of socializing. So this could either mean that you're going to meet somebody when you're out at a party or out at some kind of a social event. Bast can also indicate just that you might just be dating and be out socializing. Okay, there's definitely a sense of not being isolated, of getting out and being around people. But again, there's this sense of wanting to be recognized with Bastet. I mean, it's perhaps having people see you for who you are. And there's also a lot of happiness around this. This is also the card of children and creativity. So it is possible for some of you that this happiness may come through a child, or maybe even socializing or some kind of social thing connected to children or to your child, or through a creative project. All of those things are possible with the 5th house. But if for somebody looking for love, I feel like this is definitely kind of a suggestion of getting out and dating, because in the 7th house of relationships here, you have Urias, which can indicate either a secret relationship or maybe somebody who's secretly admiring you and you don't know that. I mean, that could be. Though this is in the house that has more to do with marriages and legal partnerships. So I don't know. It could be that maybe you've met somebody when you're out. Maybe you don't know if this person looks at you, but maybe this person does, but they do it secretly. Like maybe they don't make themselves obvious to you. But it does seem like whatever's going to happen with relationships, it's going to be something of a surprise. So Urias just says, so whatever path you think your relationship life is going to take, this is saying it might not go the way you think, but it might go better than what you think, or it's just going to be something unexpected, but still something you'd be happy with. If you are already married, then it could be that maybe you or I don't know if your spouse is keeping some kind of secrets from you, or maybe there's just a situation where somebody's keeping something to themselves. So there may end up having to be, I don't know. And I don't know if it has to do with money, to be honest, because I'm seeing communications around money. So maybe somebody is not being totally forthright about something having to do with finances. And so maybe there's a conversation that needs to be had there. Okay. In terms of career and job, okay, yeah, it does feel like, with Ta here that you are definitely a hard worker, and you may be very busy at work right now. Like I said, if you have an actual 9-to-5 type job, then this would be saying, yes, that you're somebody who is a hard worker and very busy with what you're doing. And in the 10th house, which has to do with your career, we have Thoth. So, okay, Thoth is connected to a number of things. This is connected to healing. It's connected to, okay, it's fundamentally, I mean, okay, this could be the career of somebody who either goes into healing, like, like being a doctor, or maybe even a lawyer, because this has to do with the law as well. This could be somebody who's a writer or somebody who's in higher education. All of those things are possible with Thoth. But this, I think, more fundamentally, if we get away from specific career titles, unless that's something that you're interested in knowing about, I feel like Thoth is saying here that you are that something is going to happen at the right time. Okay, there may be a matter of timing for something. Now, the number 5 seems to be significant here when it comes to, I would say, if this is somebody who's trying to, say, go into business on their own or something like that, the number 5 seems to be significant. So whether that's 5 weeks, 5 months, I don't know. But the number 5 is definitely popping up here for you. Let's see what else is popping up here. Okay, you may be, this is interesting because this is almost telling you to kind of get out and socialize, but I feel like you may be keeping your boundaries with friends right now. Maybe you want to, there's something that you're wanting to keep to yourself. Maybe you are, I don't know. I mean, there's, in your house of security, there's this element of, this can also have to do with not only being recognized by your family, but also about your own sense of self-confidence. So maybe there's just something where you, maybe it's telling you to have confidence or telling you to trust in your own authority because maybe you don't. But Anubis also may indicate that perhaps you're protective of your goals and your hopes and wishes right now as well, because that is also connected to this house. And yeah, in this 8th house here, we do have fire. So I feel like you're trying to decide what stays and what goes. There's definitely a lot of inspiration here and a lot of desire to, there's a lot of energy that where you want to make changes and move towards the future. But there may be a worry that the sacrifices you're going to make are not going to be rewarded. But Buckle of Isis always indicates, no, the work that you put into something, you will definitely get something back out of it. Overall, you do have a stable situation, so I don't feel like, things are bad right now. Like, there's nothing in here to suggest anything is bad. If anything, everything's just kind of stable. Like I said, there's relationship energy. Oh, yeah, here we go again. This is interesting, what's coming up here for you. Let's see what else we've got. Okay. We got that. Let's see what we have. Yeah, you're overthinking something for sure, Virgo, because we have Gemini in the 12th house here. And, I mean, you have a stable situation, but in order to gain, you're going to have to give something up. We have a Neptune card right in the center of your reading. And so, yeah, I think you are going to have to, you're going to be called upon to make some changes. I mean, I think you are, like I said, you're excited to live the life that you want. You have Aries energy in the 1st house. So this is you saying, I'm powerful and I'm going to go for it. Okay. You definitely have a strong, ambitious, go-getter kind of energy and a real love for life kind of energy here. Now this is interesting because we have the Scorpio, we have the 8th house card in the 1st. Now the 8th house card, okay, this is the card they're saying of endings and beginnings, But this is also a card of joint finances. So I don't know if you're entering into a business partnership, if you're getting some kind of a business loan or a capital or something. I don't know. There's something here. This could be about family, but there's definitely this sense of a partnership here. This 8th house is the house of joint finances, and it's showing up in your 2nd house of money. So I don't know. There could be some discussions around joint finances here. Or there could be, with this being the endings or beginnings card, there could be some kind of a change coming to your finances or what you do to make money. It seems like something is going to be ending and something else may be beginning. So both of those things are possible. You do have the 1st house card over here with the 8th. So this is definitely, again, a card of recognition, of the spotlight being on you, of you trying to get rid of other things and focusing more on yourself and what your own needs are. And that's definitely reflected in what's going on in the 1st house. 3rd house. Okay, this is interesting because with your communications, see, again, we're seeing money or discussions about money here, but there seems to be a wound connected to that because this is where Chiron is. So I don't know. I feel like there's a certain wounding around money for you. So if this has to do with a business, making money at a business, I have a feeling that you may have whatever your wound is, and we all have a Chiron wound, and it's going to be different for everybody. But whatever it is, like for example, Chiron in Aries is somebody who works really hard and feels like they're never recognized. Okay, just as a way of example. If you have Chiron in Taurus, you might be perpetually worried that you're never going to have enough money. Whatever your Chiron wound is, this seems to be affecting something here, and something either communications about money or about your sense of stability, or just maybe having to do with business. There seems to be this sense that a wound of some kind is affecting things. So I think there's healing that needs to take place. If you are looking to start your own business, that may be why you have Thoth here in the 10th house, because it may be saying, that something has to happen at the right time. But you've also got 11th house energy with that. So again, there's this idea that friends actually can help you, that you don't really, I feel like right now you're protecting yourself, and maybe that's because you've got Grand Trine here. So Grand Trine seems to indicate things are going along rather smoothly, that things kind of come to you naturally. So you may be a little bit, protective of your space around certain things, but this is definitely telling you to work with others, that you can achieve whatever your dreams are by working with others and not going it alone. Now, if we look at this family thing and this thing, you have Saturn here. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of strong Saturn energy around your sense of security, and next to Chiron here, yeah, I just think you're somebody, if you have a very Saturnine nature or a family that has a very Saturnine kind of nature, then there may be a very, like a seriousness or a severity or the sense that you have to work hard. Something's going to take a long time. You can't cut corners. You have to do it. That's definitely the energy here that we see with Saturn. Something that will also be an attitude that's very, very traditional. I mean, Saturn is definitely the card that we have over here in your workhouse here. This is Ta definitely as a strong Capricorn Saturn energy. But something around family here may be affecting your sense of self-confidence too. Like you may be saying, because there just may be a karmic lesson around this too when we see Saturn appearing in this position. But something's going on here. You've got Pluto in the Grand Cross next, and if this may have to do with a creative project. Again, it might have to do with a relationship too. But whatever it is, again, Bast has this idea of getting out and socializing, and I feel like you're going to be provoked towards something. Like there's something that you're doing that you're getting frustrated, or you're not really sure how it's going to go, whether this has to do with a relationship, whether this has to do with something with a child, or whether this has to do with a love affair, whatever it is, there's a tension here. And it's saying whatever this tension is, it's saying it's happening because it's moving you towards doing the right thing. Okay, there's a tension that's trying to move you. You may feel yourself blocked in some places where maybe you want to move ahead, and I think it's because it's trying to make you look at what it is you need to change here. And you've got Pluto here with this Saturn energy. So Pluto is really challenging Saturn here, is the way I feel like it's trying to get to the. And I say that because we have Chiron over here. I feel like I feel like Virgo is definitely an earth sign. Okay, they're very grounded, very practical, methodical, step by step. I mean, that's detail oriented, wants everything perfect. Definitely the hallmarks of Virgo. Virgos are great workers. I mean, they're good planners. They're very organized. But this Pluto, this transformation in here, something's going to be poking at that, and it may be poking at your worries too. Pluto is poking you to do what's new. I mean, Pluto is in Aquarius right now, not in Capricorn. I mean, it is going to retrograde to Capricorn briefly, but and it may be because it's retrograding towards Capricorn that some of these issues are coming up. Because I have a feeling you may have a strong desire to do something new and different, but you may have this strong family and traditional foundation of doing things the old traditional tried and true way, and Pluto is demanding that you it's demanding that you look at that and say, okay, what is it? Where are your wounds around this? What needs to be corrected here? When Saturn shows up, there's often corrections, and what are you being provoked towards? Okay, I just feel like there's a tension that's here, and so even though things are going pretty well, and even though you're very happy, ambitious, and determined, there's something pushing back at you here. Now, this doesn't have to do with work. This may just have to do with something that you've been worried or concerned about, or that you have on your mind. But Pluto is kind of pushing back. It's pulling something up from the depths, and it's kind of demanding that you look at it a little bit. With regard to this Urias over here, we have it with Mercury. So, okay, so if you are in a relationship, it could be that if you are married, okay, this could be that one of you is overthinking something, because again, we have this strong mind energy here with Mercury. Maybe there have been conversations or discussions, or maybe there needs to be one, because again, something's not clear, someone's not understanding somebody, or somebody's hiding something. If you are looking for love, then I feel like this actually would have a different nuance, because then it would be saying that there's somebody who perhaps you have a friendly and communicative relationship with, maybe somebody who's just very detached and friendly, but that person may secretly harbor feelings for you. Okay, so those are both possibilities there. So take it as it resonates for you. Okay, along with this, I was showing the success over here in the 9th house, and Mercury retrograde seems to indicate, again, there's this idea of going back and correcting. This is interesting. You're getting a lot of this energy of going back and correcting, and this seems to have to do maybe with something, either a long trip that you're taking. It could have to do with higher education. It could also have to do with something with your spiritual beliefs. But there's either a person or a situation that is almost like a repeat, or a situation where maybe either you feel blocked or you feel like there's been miscommunications. But whatever's happening here with this, I feel like there's something here, there's some way that you wanted to expand your horizons, and you will, because you're being given a chance to correct whatever. Again, there's this whole thing about correction. You're being given an opportunity to correct whatever didn't go right for you, or whatever didn't go the way that you wanted it to, which is interesting. But I still think there's a lot of fears. I think what's holding you back right now is a lot of, the family scripts that you have. Your mind may be too much involved with Gemini here. And your fear that, you don't want to waste your effort. You want to put your effort in the places that are going to bear fruit. But there's a lot of changes coming in, and I think whatever's happening right now, it's demanding that you look at yourself and also look at what your wounds might be around money, around security, and I don't know. For some of you, like I said, this could be a lover, this could be a child, but somebody's provoking a little bit here. Not necessarily in a mean way, because this is definitely a card of happiness and being social and so forth. But there is some provoking or some resistance here. I don't know. And if it doesn't have to do with a person, then it just seems to have to do with something creative that you're doing that, I don't know. There's just some kind of tension or some kind of resistance around it. And it's kind of telling you to get out, to get information, to learn things, to get recognized, to work with others. So interesting. Your reading here is definitely saying that again, you have a stable situation, so it's not like you're in a bad place here, Virgo. But there is something that you're being called on to give up. There's something you're being called on to, especially with Saturn, Chiron, Grand Cross, Pluto, Mercury retrograde. I mean, all of these in your reading, 100% you are being called to take another look at something, see where you're reacting from either, from old lessons, old wounds. Like you're definitely being called on to really look at that right now. Because it's not that you're in a bad place, but I think this is where you really want to be. Okay, you really want to be inspired and moving ahead with the thing that you really, really want to do. And I feel like this is first, number one, it's telling you to work with others. Number two, it's telling you to examine what it is that holds you back from things, or what your wounds are, what what lessons kind of being repeated here for you. And I think all of this is happening because it's trying to push you in a new direction, whatever that has to do with, whether that has to do with love, whether that has to do with work, whether it has to do with home, family, whatever it is, you're being pushed into a new direction. And I think like I said, I think you've got it all together. I mean, Osiris is like the emperor. I mean, you have all that energy, you have it all together. So I'm not worried about you, you Virgo. I think you've got it together, and you've got what it takes. But you may be over worried about things, and I think there's a chance here to finally heal whatever may be really holding you back from doing the thing that you had wanted to do. Okay, yeah, I flipped 3 of these cards. We have the integration card. Okay, so integrating the old and the new. This is Temperance. Okay, so this is definitely something you're being called to do, and yeah, again, working with others. And we are the world. This is definitely about participating. I feel like this is saying that you're kind of reluctant. You're reluctant to go out and participate in some way, which is interesting. And I don't know if this has to do with friendships. I don't know if this has to do with going out, having something to do with your career. I don't know if this has to do with a relationship. But there's definitely a sense that there is a huge network of support here, that there's a huge abundance here, and that you have a reason to celebrate. So I think it is definitely telling you to look into to balance and to, integrating the old with the new, like figuring out what the place is of everything. Okay, that seems to be the energy that you have here for this period of time. So that's your reading for this 2-week period of time, Virgo. The one thing I didn't mention at the beginning is that this is a very volatile time. We have Mars, Uranus, and Algol all conjunct in Taurus at 26 degrees of Taurus. Probably from the time I'm recording this reading, like it was around the 13th, 14th of July through the 17th. So things can be very explosive. So just be wary of that, because I don't think there's anybody who's not. I mean, people especially have a strong Algol placement that can bring something. That can bring there can even be violence. There can be all kinds of things that can occur with that placement. But that is also a placement. It's a very rare alignment that allows us to finally be liberated from the past, and that may be why a lot of this is coming up for you. Also, the full moon on the 21st, which is square to Pluto, and it's in Capricorn, and that's really interesting because you've got this Capricorn and Pluto here, and I'm feeling like this full moon may come up with some issues for you around work. As a result of that, even if that's a factor, or around something that you've been worried about, whatever it is you're being challenged to look more deeply at, that may come up around that time. So so stay safe and sane, Virgo. I hope you have a great rest of your July, and we'll see you at the end of the month. Take care.